y'all. How y'all doing? I figured I'm gonna come on here and talk to y'all for a little bit. I'm gonna come on here and talk to y'all for a little bit while I'm eating. So, I just wanna, talk to y'all and be as transparent as possible about, things that's, happening here in Tanzania. This video is not to discourage you in any way. It's just to be honest so that way you guys are aware when you're coming out here. So a lot of people started deciding to come out here. I got some chili, y'all. Some chili with some nacho chips. And if y'all know, I'm just a few weeks away from giving birth, and I've been tired, which is why I have not been posting, because I just need to rest my body and get ready to take this baby out. Okay, I'm gonna make a video after this about my plans to give birth in Tanzania. But anyways, so a lot of you guys have been planning on coming here for a while now. You just haven't made the move yet, or whatever the situation is. Okay. However, when you started planning, I feel like a lot of people plan to come out here, but they don't really think it all the way through. And I just want to let y'all know, Tanzania is not as cheap as it used to be. When I first got out here, housing was cheaper, datas were cheaper, internet was cheaper, electricity was cheaper, water was cheaper, everything was much cheaper, food was cheaper. Prices have gone up, and I need you guys to understand that and be aware of that, because a lot of you guys get upset at us, YouTube diasporas and stuff like that, because we're like, yeah, well, first of all, I already told you guys, a lot of people post videos of, like, let's say apartments and houses and stuff like that, and they say, okay, this apartment and this house costs this much, but your quality of life, the things that a lot of you diasporas want, which is a very similar, even I think Go Black to Africa said this in one of his videos, and I thought it was genius. He said, like, the standard of living that most of you guys want, even if it's like the projects or the low income areas in the States, is still an upgrade compared to the local living here. A lot of you guys don't want to live the local living here, and I mean, I don't either. To be honest, I don't. So it's like, could I? Absolutely. Like, I absolutely could. However, a lot of you guys, you want the prices of local people living, but yet you have the expensive taste. And again, we're not talking, when people from the West hear expensive taste, they automatically assume we're talking about you living like you in the Beverly Hills and all of this stuff in luxurious houses. We're talking about standard houses. We're talking about houses with good paint, with nice quality furniture, with a nice area, nice big spacious place, 3 bedrooms. We're talking about the absolute basic. That is still a level up, and that's not that cheap. All the houses that y'all be seeing and stuff like that, a lot of times y'all come out here and y'all like, oh, I don't like those houses. Ooh, I want a generator. Ooh, I want to make sure that I have all my appliances. Ooh, I want to make sure I have this. I want to make sure I have this. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all don't like it, and then y'all realize, oh my God, well, those type of houses is gonna cost more money, and then y'all want to be like, oh my God, the diasporas on YouTube said that it was gonna be this cheap. Yes, you can find houses that cheap, but it's not gonna be what you're looking for, Anyways, with that being said, even those prices that you seen a year ago has gone up, almost double, to be honest, almost double. It's crazy. There's been an influx in diasporas coming here, And of course, like any business opportunity, like any business person, like any country, you know, they're going to take advantage and increase the prices. Internet has gone up. I don't even know how much at this point. Internet just went up 3 months ago and now it just went up again. Like, it's insane. So the amount of gigabytes that we used to have, we have it for the same price, but we have less gigabytes. So you have to put more in internet. You know what I'm saying? Especially a lot of you diasporas are working from, you know, the internet and all of that stuff. You need to factor that into your course. You understand what I'm saying? You need to also factor into your course. Like, I have a great friend of mine, and I'm just going to use her as an example. But, you know, things like this, if you're coming here with a big family and you're on a tourist visa, I was just talking to my husband about this, and you guys are not going to like this, okay? But this is just what it is. So I was telling him how people are upset with Tanzania's visas. But before y'all just start jumping down my throat, let's be realistic, okay? Most places around the world, they don't give you a year visa. It's just not what I went to Australia. They gave me a 7-day visa. They was like, you're here for 7 days. This is your 7-day visa and you're going to pay the full price. I went to France. I got a 5-day visa. They didn't give me not more, not less. They was like 5 days stamp. This is just how they do. Tanzania gives you a year visa, okay? But every 90 days, you have to leave the country. That's just what it is. It's a tourism visa. A tourism visa is meant for you to come here. It's meant for you to explore the country, for you to go on, you know, vacation. The problem is a lot of you guys are coming here on tourism visas, really using it as a residency, and then getting upset at Tanzania at the fact that you have to leave or this and this. I think 90 days is very generous. That's just personally me. I think it's very generous compared to a lot of the, remember guys, I've traveled around the world. Compared to a lot of the other countries around the world, I've never gotten a year visa, ever. Like, the most visa that I've gotten, that was like Zimbabwe, and that was like 30 days. They was like, you got to be out in 30 days, sis. Like, because again, tourism visas are not residency. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of you guys are using it as residency. Like, okay, I'm going to move here and on my tourism visa, and then I'm going to get upset because I have to leave. And it just doesn't work that way. Like, it does not work that way. I understand it's annoying. However, again, you need to factor that into the cost. Talk about the cost. If you're coming here with a big family, you have to think about a lot of things. You have to think about, number one, you and your whole family have to leave after 90 days, right? So COVID test, you have to get a COVID test to go to whatever country you want. You can go to Kenya if you want. You can go to your nearby country. That's completely fine. But you need to get the COVID test to go. If you want to go to a country like Kenya, you have to get a yellow fever vaccine. So the COVID test, I don't know how much the COVID test is these days, but maybe between $50 to $70. $50 to $70 may not sound a lot, but if there's 5 to 6 people to your family, you have to times all of that each person, and it don't matter how old the baby is. What you call it? For the COVID test, I think it's under 5, you're okay. But let's go, if you're going to Kenya, you have to have a yellow fever vaccine. I think the yellow fever vaccine, I think is between $30 to $50 US. Again, that may not seem a lot, but when you times each family member, and a yellow fever vaccine is required for everybody over the age of 1. So you have to then apply that. Then you have to talk about transportation to get to the Kenya borders. Are you going to fly? Again, you have to times all the people who's with you. Are you going to fly? Are you going to drive? Are you going to do private transportation? Are you going to do public transportation? Then when you get there, are you going to have to get a hotel, find a place to stay? All of these things you have to factor in your cost. You can't just say, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to come to Tanzania, and then at 90 days, here I am freaking out trying to figure out. Like, that should be included. Obviously, if you fly back to the West, that's going to be a whole nother course. You know, understanding the amount of people that you have is very important. It's extremely important. Getting residency in Tanzania, it's not something that's easy. It's not something that's easy. I was married to a Tanzanian and I still had problems getting residency. It's not something that's easy. It's not something that they just hand out like candy, okay? It's not something that's easy at all. And then student visas, they're barely giving out student visas anymore either because, again, you know, the influx of diasporas and everybody was getting student visas, they cut that out quick. That student visa came and went, okay? Obviously, there's business visas. There's all this other stuff. There's so many other things that you could go, you know, about getting residency and stuff like that. But it's stuff that you guys should be thinking about. And I'm sure you're watching this video now, but I'm sure if you're thinking about coming 6 months from now, this is how come consultations with people are so important, because you can find out the current prices. You can find out exactly what is going on. You know, I've been hearing a lot of things about, first of all, I'm not doing consultations right now, so please don't contact me about consultations. I'm too pregnant. I ain't got the patience. I really just, I don't have the patience, y'all. I'm tired, okay? I'm tired. However, there is so much information on YouTube. And one of my biggest pet peeves is, like, you have a lot of diasporas, including myself, that put this information out there and then you guys, it goes in one ear and goes out the other ear. And then you get upset at us like, well, why isn't this information out there? It's out there. The information is out there, especially me. I put the information out there. I talk about the struggles being in Tanzania. I talk about the pros. I talk about the cons. I talk about all that stuff. So when you guys come out here and you fall into the same exact steps that I did and made a mistake, you can't get mad at me. You understand what I'm saying? You can't get mad at the other diasporas and stuff like that who's doing that. You know, I think Tanzania is an absolute beautiful country. I love it here. It's so peaceful. The people are amazing. Food is amazing. Everything. I love it. But as any other country, it has its pros and it has its cons. And if you're somebody who wants to come out here, you need to list your pros and you need to list your cons and see if it's worth it for you. Don't go with the hype. Don't go because everybody else is going. Just because it worked out for me doesn't mean it's going to work out for you. Okay? A lot of you guys are out here thinking that, oh, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get myself, I've gotten a couple messages like this. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get myself a hope. I'm going to get myself, you know, a man to take care of me and stuff. First of all, let me tell y'all something. It ain't a lot of them out here. Okay? It ain't a lot of you're going to run into more flycatchers than hope. Okay? So be careful. Try not to have that mindset. And number one is I didn't look for hope. Hope found me. Okay? I did not at all. I was minding my own business and he came into my life. I gotta feed the baby, y'all. On point. Also need to talk about, I had one client contact me the other day and say to me, Diamond, you said that the food here was so cheap and all of this stuff. And I said, well, where did you go shopping? She said, I spent all of this money on food. I said, well, where did you go shopping? She said, oh, I went shopping at Village Supermarket. I said, girl, you ain't watched my videos. Because I done told y'all go to Village Supermarket or go to the supermarkets in Tanzania when you want to get processed food, okay? When you want to get processed food, that's where you go there. So like these nacho chips, I will go to the supermarket for that because I'm not going to find this in the local market. If I want avocado, I'm going to go to the local market because I'm not going to pay $2. I'm going to pay $2 at the supermarket rather than paying 25 cents at the market. And I said that to her. She was like, oh. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do you the favor, okay? And I'm going to take you to the local market, okay? She got five kids. I said, I'm going to take you to the local market. Maybe she got 4 or 5 kids. I don't remember. But they're big. You understand what I'm saying? They're like 15 years old and 3 of them are like boys and you know, they eat a lot or whatever. So I was like, I'm going to take you to the local market just to prove myself, because y'all know I be ready to prove myself. So I done dragged my husband and said, we're going to take this woman to the local market and we're going to go shopping for her. Okay? I brought her to the local market, y'all. She spent She bought avocados, she bought bananas, she bought onions, she bought peppers, she bought chicken, she bought huge fish, she bought so much stuff, garlic, potatoes, 2 kilos of potatoes, she bought plantains, she bought all of this stuff for 60,000 to shillings. She spent 30 US dollars at the market. And I was like, so do you understand now? You know what I'm saying? You have to do your research. The videos are out there. If you want to go to the supermarket and get your onions, get one onion for $1.25, how is that my problem? That ain't my problem, but you could get the same amount for a bucket of onions. You understand what I'm saying? So y'all really have to do your research. And one of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of diasporas who actually do the research, like a good friend of mine who I'm friends with now, she started off as a client. Hey girl. They did their research. They watched YouTube videos was just the icing on the cake. They did their research. They Googled. They did consultations with multiple people. They budgeted everything. They did and they are one of the couples with 5 kids who are successful here in this country because they did their research. They didn't just watch YouTube videos and was like, okay, I'm just gonna go with it and that's just that. Or watch the YouTube videos and just ignore it. They knew they needed to go to the local market to get affordable prices for food. They knew where they needed to go, how they needed to go. They knew, you know what I'm saying? Because they did their research. You know, same thing with transportation. Guys, if you have a car in Tanzania, we have a little car. It costs us 60 US dollars to fill that tank up. Okay, a small car. So imagine if you have a big car. A lot of you guys have big families and you need these big trucks and stuff like that to, to do transportation. That's expensive. Transportation, even from the airport to over here, it's expensive. No less than like 200,000 to shillings. Okay, it's expensive. Almost $100. It's expensive. You need to factor all those things in your cost. Stop having the mindset. Yes, of course, it's cheaper than the U.S. Of course, it's cheaper than the U.S. And you know what? And this is truly how I feel. I feel like things balance. Okay, because as I said, in the States, you can get an avocado for $2-3, right? Out here, you can get an avocado for 25 cents, okay? Same with mangoes and stuff like that. However, oil is expensive out here, okay? For about 5 liters, you're going to spend about $25 for that oil. Oil is expensive. Certain things are just expensive here. And I personally feel like they balance out, which is why I don't mind it too much. But you need to factor all of those costs coming here. And the prices are rising. They're rising. So just be aware. Be aware before making such a permanent decision. This is why I always stress, guys, you need to visit before you move. Because if you come out here and you visit, you can see the markets. You can see all of these things. You can see the prices. You can see how things are working out and stuff like that. Give you an example. This is the last thing I'm going to say before I end this because my battery is dying and we ain't got no power. The power's been out all day. Anyways, the last thing I'm going to say. The new president just said that any outside vendors have to go. They have to be in the market or that's it. So outside vendors were the ones who sometimes you would get the cheapest prices from because they were just basically these women or men or whatever who would just sell whatever it is that they had. So like baby wipes was one of the cheapest things that I could be able to get. Now I have to go to the supermarket or I have to go to the official market. Those prices are going to be more expensive. Why? And the people in the market is going to be more expensive. One, because now they know they don't have competition. That's number one. Number two, they now have to pay for a slot in the market. So their prices are going to go up. These are all things you need to be aware of before making the decision to come out here. And this is not just Tanzania. This is anywhere that you decide to move in the world. Okay? And my last point is, as I always say, if you don't have reoccurring income, do not move to the motherland. Don't do it. Do not do it. Don't do it. Why? Because you're going to struggle. Never come out here on your savings unless you're coming here for a vacation. If you're coming out here to live, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Don't ruin your experience like that, because you're just not going to survive. You need to be able to live. If you can't live in the West without reoccurring income, why would you think that anywhere else in the world you can live without reoccurring income? You can't live off your savings forever. Okay, things come up, emergencies happen, this happens, your money is out, and that's it. You just done. Just don't do it to yourself. You understand what I'm saying? If people out here need to hustle, why do you think that you don't need to hustle? You need to hustle. Okay? And if you're coming out here as a diaspora, let me tell you something. There ain't a lot of jobs. There are not a lot of jobs. If you have a medical degree or something like that, it will be much easier for you to find a job out here rather than somebody who just worked retail all their life and want to be able to, find a job and stuff like that. Like, it's just not going to happen. It's just rare. You have to come out here with a business plan. Everybody that I see that is successful who live out here, they're hustling. Traveling Sis, they're selling sea moss. She's doing, I don't know if she's doing consoles anymore, but she's doing consoles. Her husband and her have a wood business. All of these people, they're out here hustling. They're working hard. Why do you think that you're any different? Same with me and my husband. I'm not hustling so much these days because I'm tired. But my husband is out every day doing photography, videography. He's out here every day teaching students how to work the camera, all of that stuff. I mean, people are hustling. Another example, like Goretti, the Jamaican Haitians or something like that. Sorry, girl, I forgot, messed up your name. But they're out here. They have a farm. They're selling animals. They're doing their plot. They're doing things. You have to hustle. The people who come out here who think that they're going to just live off their savings is never successful. Then you have other people who are out here, but they also have their job from the West. So I know another person who is a teacher, and she does the Zoom and does teaching. So she's still getting her paycheck. She's still getting that reoccurring income. If you're doing it that way, then you're A-okay. But people who are just coming out here like, I'm just going to make it. You're not going to make it off of consultations. It's not going to happen, sweetheart. I'm sorry to tell you. It don't matter how much your consultations cost, because you need to understand that you have to have other factors. You have to have internet. You have to have time, patience, all of this stuff. Don't judge people based off the cost of their consultations. For real, like on some real. Don't judge people based off that, because a lot of people are taking time away from their families to do these consultations with you guys, to get this information. If you don't like the price, then just don't go to them. But you shouldn't think, oh, how dare you charge that much, or how dare you do this, because they are out here hustling, getting the information. I remember when I was doing consultations, I used to have to go out to immigration, go talk to people, immigration, go look for houses, go do for this. And I just told y'all how much the price is for the car. Like, it's not, you think that you're paying so much, but it really, the person is not getting that much because of the amount of work that comes behind it. If you have a problem with the cost of the consultations, then just use Google. Use Google and use the free information out on YouTube, but don't judge people based off the cost of their consultations. I don't care how much it is. Can't afford it, don't use it. But the cost of living is going up in Tanzania. Be aware before you move out here. Okay? Be realistic with your budget. Be realistic with your expectations, and be real with yourself. Be real with yourself. A lot of you guys are not real with yourself, and that's how come you end up in the situation that you ended up. Bye.